All right. Let's climb into this deep dive on, well, climbers, tree surgeons to be exact. We're going to break down what this job really takes. And I got to say, I have a feeling it's a lot more than just chainsaws.
Oh, absolutely. It's such an interesting mix of like nature and serious know-how. And luckily for us, RoleCatcher's Career Guide dives deep on that.
Really do. Getting into the job itself, how to get started, even using AI to practice for those job interviews. But okay, let's rewind to the beginning a sec. What's a day in the life of a tree surgeon really like?
You know, honestly, they're more like tree doctors. The guide really emphasized that whole diagnosis aspect, figuring out what's wrong, how to keep them healthy, when to trim them back so they're not dangerous.
So less about chopping down, more about doctoring. Okay, now I'm even more curious.
Exactly. Imagine them as like the caretakers of all our trees in the city, parks, golf courses, even your backyard. They're making sure those trees are healthy and safe.
Huh, never thought about it that way. It's a lot more responsibility than I pictured at first.
For sure. And it's not just about, how strong of a climber you are anymore either. Even tech is changing the game. Like the guy mentioned, they use drones now.
Drones, come on, seriously, that's kind of awesome.
Right. It's wild how tech finds its way into everything. So instead of someone having to climb a massive oak, they can send up a drone, get these super detailed images of the leaves, the whole canopy, and spot problems way faster and safer too.
Talk about high-tech tree detectives. So what kind of problems are we talking here, tree health-wise?
Well, they mentioned a bunch in the guide. Stuff like oak wilt, which can wipe out a whole forest if it gets bad, or emerald ash borer infestations. I think those have been a huge problem for ash trees all over. So tree surgeons are on the front lines of that, trying to stop it from spreading and save the trees.
Wow, it's like they're protecting the environment in a way I never really considered.
Totally. And that's its one part. Don't forget, the guide also went into the whole career side of things, how you can move up, the salary, that feeling of actually making a difference.
Okay, now that definitely has my attention. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of this career path. What does starting out even look like?
So according to the guide, you'd probably start as an assistant to a more experienced tree surgeon. Learning the ropes, literally, it's a super hands-on job, so you'd be getting experience with all the different tools, the techniques, safety stuff. And as you get better, the guide talks about, moving into those leadership roles, maybe even running a whole crew of tree surgeons.
So there's room to climb up in this field, no pun intended, but it's more than just climbing trees and managing people, right? The guide even mentioned starting your own business.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a pretty natural progression, actually. You build a good reputation, get those regular clients, and boom, you're ready to branch out on your own. Pun intended that time.
I like it. So being your own boss, setting your own hours, being outside.
Exactly. And the guide pointed out that if you're really into a certain part of tree care, like say you love restoring natural areas, or maybe working with those really old historical trees, you can totally specialize.
That's gotta be rewarding, focusing on what you really love.
Right. It's like the guide said, it's not just a job, it's a whole career path with tons of possibilities.
Okay, but we gotta be real. It can't all be sunshine and sawdust, right?
You got me there. The guy's honest about the tough parts too.
Yeah.
It's physically demanding work, being up high, using heavy equipment, dealing with whatever weather gets thrown at you. Plus, there's always going to be some risk involved. It's not for everyone, that's for sure.
Definitely takes a certain kind of person to handle all that. Someone who likes a challenge, isn't scared of heights, loves being outdoors.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting, right? It's not one size fits all. It's finding that perfect fit where you're good at it and do you enjoy it. And speaking of finding the right fit, that's where those RoleCatcher AI tools come in.
Oh, right. We talked about their career guide, but what about these AI tools? How do they help someone who's like interested in tree surgery, but maybe doesn't know where to start?
Okay, imagine this a personal career counselor, but like in your pocket. That's basically what RoleCatcher is doing. They use AI to go through your resume, see what you're good at, then match you with jobs that actually make sense.
Hold on. So it's not just a regular job board then. It's like
Oh,
personalized job hunting. That's kind of cool.
It is. And it gets even better. Remember that giant list of interview questions they mentioned in the guide?
Yeah, like over 100,000 or something crazy. Pretty intimidating if you ask me.
No kidding. But with RoleCatcher, you can actually practice answering those questions. Even record yourself on video. And get this, their AI will tell you how you did, like actual feedback.
Wait, the AI watches your video and gives you notes? That's impressive and also a little creepy at the same time.
I know, right? But think about it. Feedback on how fast you're talking, your body language, even your tone of voice. Like having a coach prep you for the real deal.
That's wild. It's like a secret weapon for job hunting. But even
It-
with those tools, I'm guessing you still got to know your stuff, right? Like
uh,
actually having experience with trees and all that.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher can help you get your foot in the door, but your skills, what you know how to do, that's what's going to land you the job. That's why the guide was really big on always learning in this field.
So it's not like go to school once and you're set.
Nope, not even close. Tree care is changing constantly.
Mm.
New tech, new research on diseases, new ways to make it more environmentally friendly. A good tree surgeon's always learning something new, always got to be on top of their game.
Makes sense. Got to keep up with the times and make sure those trees are getting the best care possible, right?
Exactly. And the guide even gave some ideas on that. Going to workshops, getting certified by those professional groups, even just connecting with other people in the tree care world.
Connecting with people. So it's not all just like up in the trees by yourself.
Definitely not. The guide talked about how important it is to build relationships. Other arborists, researchers, even the people who supply their equipment. It's how they share what they know, hear about new stuff, maybe even find a mentor.
Just like any other job, really, having those connections makes a big difference. What about someone who's totally new to all this, though? Where would they even begin?
Well, RoleCatcher is great for that first step, just seeing what jobs exist, what skills you'd need. But the guide also suggested volunteering or shadowing a tree surgeon for a bit.
Yeah.
Get a feel for what it's really like day to day.
So getting their hands dirty, literally. Sounds like this career takes someone with a real passion for it and love for trees, obviously.
100%. It's more than just a job. It's about helping to make the world a little healthier, a little greener, one tree at a time.
And let's not forget, it can be a pretty good way to make a living, too. The guide definitely mentioned that whole earning potential, especially as you get more experience.
Absolutely. Finding that sweet spot between what you love and what pays the bills. Sounds like tree surgery might be that perfect mix for the right person.
Well, there you have it. We really climbed to new heights in this deep dive on tree surgeons. From figuring out what's wrong with the tree and fighting off those invasive bugs, to using all that cool tech and even starting your own business, this career's got it all. Challenges, rewards, and a whole lot of fresh air.
And hey, if any of this sparked your interest, remember, RoleCatcher's there to help you get started. See what's out there, brush up on your skills, maybe even realize you've got what it takes to be one of those tree guardians yourself.
So next time you see a tree surgeon up there, taking care of those amazing trees, you'll know there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. It's a career that deserves respect, a career with a real future, and who knows, maybe even the perfect career for you. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.